Go.
Alright, I'm going to talk to you about homeschooling and try to persuade you into picking homeschooling as a way to educate your child. Families are choosing to homeschool their children, and it's pretty much the fastest growing type of school in the country right now. Homeschooling has been around for well over 100 years. If you think back, they didn't start institutionalizing children in schools probably less than 100 years ago. Before that, you think about people like Albert Einstein. He was a homeschool student, and Benjamin Franklin, he was homeschooled. So, Einstein being a scientist and Franklin being really smart with the electricity. There was no type of government-run school that they attended. Everything they learned was at home. They were taught by their parents. Homeschooling is not, it's not new. It's kind of like reinventing the wheel. Homeschooling has been around for a long time. People still do it. There was a study done about 10 years ago, and they polled 1,000 homeschool parents, and they asked them why did they homeschool their children, and they gave 5 answers. The first one being for religious purposes. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, and the New Age religion, they prefer to homeschool their children. They don't really want the government involved in teaching their children. They want to do it themselves. So religious purpose was the number one. The second one was social reasons. They wanted to control who their children associated with. They didn't want to send them to the traditional school system, and there was a mixture of children. They could be around all different types of kids, behavioral issues, things like that. So they chose for social reasons that homeschooling was better. The third reason was the academic excellence. When you homeschool a child, you have a lot of one-on-one with the child. So if they run into a problem, you can address that issue and you can spend a lot of time on that topic, versus when you're in a traditional classroom setting, it's pretty much you learn, you move on, you don't grasp it. It's kind of like, well, let's get over this hurdle, let's just move on. The fourth reason is special needs of kids. There's a lot of children that have special needs. Those special needs can be a learning disability. They could have been born with some type of mental retardation, and they need extra time, that extra one-on-one to grasp the material that they're learning, versus when they're in a traditional school system, they're kind of just, so I guess you could use the term shake and bake. They're just trying to get them through, so they do whatever they can to move them on to the next level, so the child's not really learning anything. And the fifth reason is the freedom and the flexibility. When you homeschool, there's no set time. It's not like you have to have your child at the table at 7:20 in the morning and they stay to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Homeschooling is very flexible. You can choose to do it in the morning, the afternoon, the evening. There's a lot of homeschool parents that work, so when they get off work, they come home and they take care of their child's education. The flexibility, you're not bound to a local government schedule, meaning that the traditional school system, this is spring break, this is a teacher work day. You can take your child on vacation when you're ready, or you can move that schedule around. You don't have to Monday through Friday have a set schedule. The rules for homeschooling are really easy. The state of North Carolina says that between the ages of 7 years old to 16 years old is when your child needs some type of education. There's a 9-month rotation of 180 days. So your child must attend school for 180 days. There has to be annual testing. There's an attendance record, and you have to register with the county you live in and the state of North Carolina. You have to let the county and the state know that you're going to homeschool your child. What does it take to get started with homeschooling? You have to submit your high school diploma, so you must have completed high school, and you have to apply and register with the Department of Non-Public Education for the state of North Carolina. You have to keep records on file, shot records, attendance records, test results. You have to maintain those as well. Why is it better to homeschool? It's a small teacher-student ratio. So homeschooling is one-on-one versus 1-on-21. You can choose the books and learning material. There's a number of ways that you can pick your curriculum. You can take and you can just use the basic CDs. You can order these, and this is the 5 core curriculum that you need. You can go to the traditional textbook. You can use textbooks to teach your child, and there's always online learning. You can go through a lot of universities. There's a big one in South Carolina, I believe it's Bob Jones. They can connect you with the information you need to homeschool your child, and it's 100% online. Basically, the child logs on and interacts through the internet. You can get involved in support groups. That's another reason why it's better. Those support groups are homeschool support groups, sports, church activities, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever your child wants to be involved in. You can kind of pick and choose what you need. The added benefits of homeschooling is you can expose your child to like government early. You can pick and choose where they volunteer, and they can start college early. Majority of homeschoolers finish high school at 16 years old, and they go ahead and enroll in college. And usually by the time they're 18, a majority of them has an associate's degree already. So that's a big plus. The downside is the can't be lazy. You've got to be on it. If you're going to homeschool your child, you have to be involved. You have to stay on top of it. You can't say you're doing it and not doing it, because you're hurting the child at the end of the day. My son Corey, come on up here, buddy. He was homeschooled from basically preschool up into the 4th grade, and we decided this year that we would put him into the public school system. He entered the public school system, and he's done really, really well. His teacher even said they didn't even know that he was homeschooled. There was no signs that he was homeschooled. He was able to come in and move right along with the program. Basically what we did was we laid that foundation with him at an early age, starting from, when he was in preschool. It was a lot of one-on-one working on his school, and he was able to go to the 4th grade and function as a normal kid. And with Corey, his social skills are great. He plays baseball. He's able to go into church activities, and he has no issues at all. He functions great. So that's kind of a big myth. A lot of people think homeschool is weird. Homeschool kids, they're weird kids. No, they're not weird kids. They're just they just don't function in the institutionalized society. So basically, in closing, what I'm going to say is you have to let the child speak for itself. So you do the homeschool in those first 6 years, the child will speak for himself when he or she goes into any type of institutionalized program. Because if you do homeschooling right and you keep up with it, they'll succeed. So basically, you have to lay the foundation for the child. You have to start at an early age. You have to be consistent. You have to choose the right material, and your child will succeed.